What is up, guys? It is Jed Wrestling here, back again with another video, and today we will be looking at the top 10 WWE Elite action figures of 2024. No Ultimate Editions, no basics. We're just looking at Elites here today. 2024 was a pretty good year for the figures. Not one of my favorites of all time because that's when they changed factories. They went from China to Vietnam. Then we got a bunch of the stiff legs on the figures, which held certain figures back from getting into the top 10 list when they possibly could have. But so that's a bit of a shame. But as far as like aesthetics of the figures, I think this is peak form for Mattel. I think the figures have never looked better. There's including a lot more cloth good jackets that we used to see in rubber. The head sculpts are on fleek. The decals are really good. Like that they're knocking it out of the park right now when it comes to the figures in a lot of regards. So I'm very excited to do this. This was a pretty tough list to make, but we're only taking into account figures that I own. So no Ilya Dragunov, no Jey Uso, Elite 114, or anything like that. Only figures that I own. Honorable mentions. We're gonna start off. Elite 110 Butch is definitely an honorable mention for me. I really enjoyed this figure when it first came out. I love the red, white, and blue singlet. I think that's really clean. He's got the cricket bat, and just that it's an updated Pete Dunne look really puts this over the top. He's got some really nice articulation on this figure. The breakable cricket bat. He came with a cloth jersey. Overall, that figure was really cool, and I really enjoyed it. SummerSlam Elite Kane. This one I thought was pretty underrated, but it was my favorite out of the SummerSlam wave. It was like the John Cohn Build-A-Figure wave. And this figure's really cool. It's a perfect representation of this era of Kane. He's got the like red stitch design on the pants. He's got this head sculpt. It's really menacing looking head sculpt for Kane. Articulation's really good on the legs, if you're wondering, or really good articulation on the legs. So I didn't quite crack the top 10, but I really enjoyed this Kane. It's just a shame he didn't come with any like accessories or anything. I feel like you got to feature this. Elite 112 Seth Rollins. I am holding the leg on currently because it did snap. But Elite 112 Seth Rollins. This had a really nice gear, and I loved this head sculpt in particular. This was my favorite head sculpt that we saw with the Ultimate Edition. So I'm happy they used it on an Elite. But just overall, with the leg articulation and everything, and the fact that the leg ended up snapping off, that figure could not make it past honorable mentions, unfortunately. Only 109 Bailey. This is a figure that got a lot of hate when it first came out, and I don't really know why. I think this is a really good figure. I think it looks like Bailey. I think the gear is good. Yes, it's a damage control gear, so it's not like 100% current Bailey, but like she still has a very similar look to this, and she still wears some red gears here and there. So I think it's cool how we got an updated Bailey here in the line in Elite Series 109, and that's definitely an honorable mention for me for this year. Elite 107, Undertaker. Elite 107, I thought was a really solid series. This is the first series of the year. Undertaker, this is really cool. This is like a post-retirement, just promo gear, really casual looking Undertaker. And I really did like this figure. Some really good articulation on it. He's got the Undertaker One Dead Man Show cloth shirt, which I'm surprised they actually were able to put that on a figure. He's got the glasses, he's got the hat bandana combo, tattoo details on fleek. He comes with a watch that you can use for so many different people. That's just a really cool Undertaker figure to have in your collection. You can do a bunch of different fix-ups. You can just do anything with that figure. That's a really universal one. I enjoyed that Undertaker. Elite 107 Finn Balor. As time's gone on, this figure has sort of fell a little bit for me because he is a little short. Like we're gonna put him next to Seth. Like you put him next to Seth, and you can just see how short this figure is. I feel like they could have given him a taller formula. That's really the only downside to this figure. The cloth good did stain the arms, but it is still a really good cloth good that you could use for a lot of different people. Updated look with the pants. A lot of people were annoyed that this head sculpt being reused, but I still think it looks like Finn Balor. I still think it's appropriate for this era of like Judgment Day Finn. And he came with two interchangeable heads of like masks, so if you want to pop those on, you can do that. I don't know. I just thought this was a really good figure. I liked this Finn Balor a lot, especially with the cloth good. Monday Night Wars, Rob Van Dam. This head sculpt is grown on me a little bit. but I'm still not the biggest fan. I just think it looks a little goofy around the mouth and all that. It just doesn't look the best. But this gear is really, really nice. Let's be real. Super vibrant colors on it. Everything's super saturated. You can see the pink, the yellow, the green, and then blue down at the bottom. This is based off his 1997 appearance on Raw. Not really a fan of the low kick pads, but that's something you could probably easily fix, I can only assume. And yeah, this Rob Van Dam was really good. Probably the best Monday Night Wars Elite of the year. Kind of pains me to do this, but Royal Rumble Cody Rhodes, this figure would have 100% made my top 10 and probably even my top 5. These pants, I just wanted these in action figure form for so long. This was like my favorite gear that Cody Rhodes has ever worn, but like it's just super stiff around the legs, man. Like I just can't get behind this leg articulation for Cody Rhodes. And if you look back on I just dropped something. But if you look back on the Elite 101 Cody Rhodes, you can see like how smoothly this moves. And then you just look at this. Like Cody Rhodes figures used to have some really good articulation. I still think the aesthetics of the Cody Rhodes figures are awesome. I still love these pants, and I like the new style of ankle pivot on the boots too. But just I don't know. I couldn't put this in the top 10. I really wanted to. I just couldn't put that in the top 10. I hate to say it. Elite 110, pretty deadly. I almost skipped over these when they first announced them. I'm like, yeah, I don't need pretty deadly figures, but I ended up getting them, and they're actually really good, really cool. I love the blue design. I think this is a really good attire that they went with. Just the blue going throughout, and then the cloth goods really put these figures over the top. I think like the really unique shirts that they got with like the sleeves, those are some really cool figures. Last, I believe, for the honorable mentions. Well, there's another one after this that I wanted to mention, but Elite 107 Grayson Waller. This one got a bunch of hate, and I don't really know why. Much like with the Bailey, this is just one that I really enjoyed that got a bunch of hate. But I love the white gear. I think the pink flames going up on the side is really cool. It says Grayson Waller effect on the back. He's got the really cool jacket. I think this head sculpt even resembles him. There's a new Grayson Waller Elite coming out. Might pick that up because he's got the new tag team title and everything. And if they make a new Theory as well, I'll probably get both of those. But Grayson Waller, that is a really cool figure. I enjoy that one. Then last for the honorable mentions, we have the top picks, Rey Mysterio. Very similar top picks. This was like the second top picks wave that they did this year. If you're wondering, same thing with the Cody Rhodes. Just the aesthetics to this figure are absolutely amazing. It resembles Rey Mysterio. He's got a really good gear. He's got the blue, the pink, the white. Just the leg articulation. I can't get behind. He has that thing where you put the leg up and then it just kicks right back, which I think is really weird. I don't know why that happens, but it's basically the same issue as the Cody Rhodes of like it would have made my top 10, just I just wish the articulation was better. But yes, that has been my honorable mentions. Let's get into the top 10. At number 10, I'm giving it to what I thought was a really underrated Elite out of 2024, and it is the Elite 109 Shinsuke Nakamura. This one really does resemble Shinsuke Nakamura. The head sculpt in particular looks exactly like him. I even think this gear is really cool because he's got like the white squiggly lines. Some people were hating on it, but I think this gear is really nice. And the cloth good especially. Like look at this cloth good, man. He's got the sleeves, like the really low sleeves hanging off. He's got the string. He's got a bunch of different detail on this jacket, and this was just a really detailed figure, and one that looks exactly like Shinsuke Nakamura. Based off like resemblance and detail, that is definitely my number 10 best elite figure of the year, the Elite 109 Shinsuke Nakamura. At number 9, I got the Elite 114 Tommaso Ciampa, another one that I found really underrated. Out of Elite 114, he's got the same head sculpt as the Elite 69. Looks exactly like Ciampa, even though his beard's a little different nowadays, but it's not too bothersome. He's got the really cool cloth jacket. Like honestly, this cloth jacket probably could have made the list by itself. Like if you take it off the Ciampa, it's just really, really cool. I don't know why, but I'm just a really big fan of this jacket. It's absolutely sick. It's like fully cloth, and that is like vests are something that they hardly ever do in cloth. So that was really insane to see. We also saw it with the top picks Logan Paul this year, as well as an Elite 111 Ricochet. So it's cool that they're embracing the cloth vests more. He's got the really cool tights. And I forgot to mention in my review, it does say 11/19/16, which would be November 19th, 2016. I guess that's when DIY formed or something. I thought that was a really cool detail on this Champa. Yes, I just thought this was a really cool and fun figure to pose around. And I don't know, it was just really cool. It has a cool attire, it has a cool jacket. It's really good. Number 8 is the Elite 108 Bronson Reed. This might surprise some people that this was on this list, but this Bronson Reed is just such a beast, dude. It probably helps that he's one of my favorite wrestlers now, after his feud with Seth Rollins. I thought he really broke out then. But Bronson Reed singlet design is really cool. It's really imposing, and it's got really good articulation for being such a big figure. I mean, you can do anything you want with this Bronson Reed. He's got the extra large elbow pads, extra large knee pads, some really cool tattoo detail on the pecs, on one pec, I should say, on the arms. Really cool green and white jacket. It's really cool. It's like glittery, so it sort of like shines a little bit. This is a really cool Bronson Reed. Yet another one that I found underrated, and this was just a really cool figure when it first came out. Only gripe, skin tone was a little off. It's the same skin tone they used on his Elite 90, as well as the same head sculpt as well. But everything else, this Bronson Reed is really nice. Number 7, I got the Elite 113 Tiffany Stratton. Another figure that got some hate, but this figure is still really cool. I was sort of bashing it, in yesterday's video with like the head sculpt, and then like I think they could have given her like a more muscular formula. They use like basically the same arms on every women's figure, so that's kind of a shame. But everything else, this attire is really good. He's got the pink, the white, all the stars going throughout. The knee pads are really cool. The boots are really cool. She's got the stars on the side and all that. I just wish the head sculpt was better, and I'd probably rather have a better head sculpt on it than like the bigger proportions, like her being like this, her being like this, and like her muscles. I could probably live with that. But the head sculpt is definitely something that held this figure back a little bit for me. But even then, it's still really good, and it was one of my favorites out of Elite Series 113. At number 6, I have Elite 113 coming in once again, this time with Carlito. I thought this was a really cool figure. Well, much like with the Bronson Reed, I thought they could have updated his skin tone a little bit. This head sculpt still does really resemble on an older Carlito, sort of. He's got the goatee, he's got the afro, he's got the really unique facial expression going on. He's got the Carlito shirt with the Puerto Rican flag going down in black and white, and he's got the apple where the star would be, and he's also got an apple in his hand, which is like removable from his hand. It's a really small accessory, but it actually like comes out of his hand, so you don't just have to use that, but you use the apple for this hand. How cool is that? And the white looks really good. I thought this white version was better than the purple. He's got the Carlito logo on the side. It says Bad Apple over here. Legs were a tad stiff, but that's my only gripe with the Carlito as a whole, aside from the skin tone. I just thought this was a really fun figure to have, and it is my number 6. Into the top 5, the number 5 spot. These are the everything after this are the top tier figures of 2024. Starting off with Elite 109 Damian Priest. This really does look like Damian Priest. All the detail on the face, on the tattoos. Look at the hair, man. He's got the purple strands going down, mostly just black, silver, the wings, all the molding and tooling going throughout. Like this figure was just really cool. Some really nice articulation in the legs and the knees. I think that's really cool. Just all the molding, all the stuff that's sculpted on, all the sculpts. Really does resemble Damian Priest, and I enjoyed this figure a lot when it first came out. At number 5, I have Damian Priest. Number 4, you got to give it to the honorary Oos. You got to go Survivor Series Elite Sami Zayn. Really underrated figure when it first came out. I thought this was great. He's got the honorary Oos shirt, got the honorary going down the pants, the boots, the hand. He didn't come with one hands, but he did come with fisted hands, so you can put his hands in the air like that. He's got the smiling face from the Ultimate Edition, which I'm happy he has that, because that really fits in with this era of Sami Zayn. And just like we wanted an honorary Oos figure for so long, and we finally got it. This was just a really good figure when it first came out, and it's one that I highly recommend if you don't have it. And this could even work for our current Sami Zayn, 'cause he's been wearing red pants a little bit, also with the black, but he has been wearing red recently. So if you want like a current Sami Zayn, maybe do some fix-ups with it. Maybe throw like a custom red Heat shirt on there or something that he wears along with Jey Uso. You could do that. There's just so much cool stuff you can do with this Sami Zayn, and I really did enjoy it. At number four, I got Sami Zayn. My number three favorite Elite figure of the year is going to go to Chelsea Green, Elite Series 108. This one was really, really cool, and I like the hat, and the cloth good skirt just puts it over the top. Like, this is just really, really cool. Look at all the cloth that went into this. So much time and effort went into this Chelsea Green. That's something that has to be appreciated. She's got the pointing interchangeable hands, so you can do her little shoes pose that she does just like that when she shifts with the crowd. She's got the like indigo gear, sort of. I would consider that just really, really cool, really toyetic, and I was a big fan of this Chelsea Green when it first came out. So I did give it the number three spot. Number two, it is the top picks 2024 Logan Paul, the first one, not the second one that they did in the yellow and the black. This one is the blue and the yellow and some black in there as well. This figure has to be called out. It is missing quite a few things. He had a logo on the knee pads, which I guess is fair enough because it said Mav, and I don't think they're allowed to put that on the figures. Under his hair, it's supposed to say Paul for the headband, but I think I could also get past that because it covers it up with the hair. But he doesn't have the wrist tape, man. Like he had like blue on one hand, yellow on the other hand, WrestleMania 39. And like, dude, I feel like they really should have put that on the figure. I don't feel like there's really anything stopping them from putting that on this Logan Paul. I found that really weird how this figure just doesn't have a wrist tape, especially with like blue and the yellow. I feel like that would have really tied this gear together. But the cloth jacket has definitely grown on me. I didn't like it at first, but I feel like this is a really good piece. He's got the prime bottle in the hand, screaming Ultimate Edition head sculpt, and the leg articulation is also pretty decent on it. Kind of stiff, but he does have the blue and the yellow tights with the missing logo over here. Everything else is on fleek with this Logan Paul. That's why I did give him my number two Elite Figure of the Year spot. Before I get into my number one elite figure that I have of 2024, I have to give out an honorable mention to a figure or figures that I don't have, which is the Elite 114 Jey Uso and the Elite 114 Jey Uso Chase. I want both of those figures. I want two Yeet shirts. I want two Jey Usos. I want two of those head sculpts to maybe pop on different Jey Usos. Like that would just I would want those figures so bad. Haven't gotten around to getting them yet. I will be ordering the regular when it comes back around in March because it's on back order currently on Ringside Collectibles for March. Might as well pick up the Chase too. I don't know yet, but the regular I'm definitely going to be picking up and reviewing it on the channel in March, hopefully. But until then, I just had to put that out there. But until then, my favorite WWE Elite figure that I have of 2024, you might have already worked this out, but it is the Elite Series 109, Seth freaking Rollins. Yeah, I had to put this figure at number one. I might not be that popular of a choice, but this figure's just amazing. He's got the new World Heavyweight Championship, new at the time, with the Seth Rollins side plates on it, which looks really, really fresh. It was awesome to see that in the line. He's got the head sculpt with the blonde highlights in the hair, which I like. This was my first Elite that I got of that, so that's cool. He's got the back tattoo, which some sets have not been featuring recently. Black wrist tape. He's got the gold tights, which are awesome. And I just feel like this articulation is really good. Makes this figure really usable, really posable. And there's just something about this figure that I really, really enjoy. This is like one of my favorite figures to use. I just find myself using it a lot. And it is my favorite WWE Elite that I have of 2024. Like I said, the Jey Uso probably would have been at number one if I were to if I had it, but I'm only taking into account figures that I had. So Seth Rollins did get my number one elite figure of the year that I own, and that has been my top 10 favorite WWE Elite action figures of the year. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and if I should do any other rankings, maybe like an AEW figure ranking, maybe like an Ultimate Edition ranking if there's demand for that. I will do it. But until then, this is my top 10 favorite elites of the year. And like I said, the Seth Rollins is my favorite Elite of the year that I have. But yes, let me know what you thought. Jed Wrestling out.